In Science 1, we will start another new chapter, which will be the second last chapter for us to study. It is chapter number 8, and it is called metallurgy. Be careful about the pronunciation. It is not metallurgy, it is metallurgy. It's a new chapter that we are starting. It's a long chapter. It has a lot of information. No mathematics, don't worry, but a lot of information, right? And the good thing is, it also has a lot of diagrams that are very frequently asked in the exams. So from a diagram point of view, in Science 2, the most important chapter, I believe, is life processes, both 2 and 3. And from diagram point of view, one of the most important chapters in Science 1 is chapter number 8, metallurgy. Okay. What we are going to do is what we do whenever we start a new chapter. We will understand what the chapter is about. We will have a look at what all is there in the chapter, and then we will start. So we do need our textbooks with us, pencils to annotate on the textbook, maybe notebooks we will not need today, but if you have it, excellent. We will have to write something. You will tell me and then I'll write. The slides for this session are all empty. We will complete them together. Let us begin. If you look at the top of the first page of the chapter, which starts on page number 93, it tells us what are the main things that we will cover in the chapter. Question to you is, do you think there is anything strange about this list of things that we are going to study? When I say this list, I find it very strange, but do you? Is a question. Strange means ajeeb. The name of the chapter is metallurgy, and in the chapter, the last thing that we will study is metallurgy. Before that, we will study many other things. We will study about the properties of metals and non-metals. We will study about the physical and chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Related to that, we will see a reactivity series of metals. We will understand what ionic compounds are and what their properties are. And based on all this information, we will study what metallurgy is. And that is how the content of the chapter is arranged. Okay. So, to get introduced to the chapter, can you tell me what metallurgy is? And I will give you a clue. The answer is on page number 99. Go to page number 99, find out where metallurgy is defined, and tell me what it is. Metallurgy is about extraction and purification of metals from their ores. This is the basic thing that we need to understand. It's a process. It's a process of extraction. What is the meaning of extraction? Very simple English word. Extraction means to remove, to pull out, nikalna. Purification means to clean. So metallurgy is about getting metals and getting pure metal from their ores. माने metals को हम निकालेंगे कहां से? उनके ore से. O-R-E, ore. It's not a new word for you. If you have studied in previous classes. Now you will ask, how are you saying this is easy? We are not able to understand what ores are, what metals are. But we studied what metals are, what ores are. Right? So For the time being, let us restrict ourselves that it is a process by which we will get metals and we will purify them. We will get metals and we will clean them. We will make them as clean as possible for us to use. So now to understand metallurgy properly, it becomes important for us to understand what metals are. And that is why the chapter focuses so much on metals, non-metals, their properties, the reactivity series, the ionic compounds, before jumping into metallurgy. So now, what are metals and non-metals? What are they? Are we talking about different types of water? Are we talking about different types of stones? Are we talking about different types of air? What are these things? Metals and non-metals. How can you define? How can you explain to someone what is a metal, what is a non-metal? Metals and non-metals are different types of elements. Element is one fundamental type of matter that we have on this planet, in this universe. Elements are that type of matter which are consisting of only one type of atom. The element hydrogen has only hydrogen atoms. The element sodium has only one type of atom, sodium atoms. The element oxygen has only one type of atom, the atoms of oxygen. And these elements are different from compounds and mixtures. Compounds are formed by combination of elements in a fixed proportion, and it's a chemical combination. Whereas mixtures are combination of various elements and or compounds in no fixed proportion, and this combination is usually a physical combination. Metals and non-metals are elements. And yes, you can give some examples. Iron is a metal. Oxygen is a non-metal. Right? So basic thing that we need to know and should be able to answer is there are different types of elements. If you studied chapter number 2, which is periodic classification of elements, then you would ask me, sir, then there is the third type of element also, which is called metalloid. Yes, we can say. So metals, non-metals, and metalloids. But mainly elements are of two types, metals and non-metals. And here I must share with you what Khadija sent me the message is. Metals are those elements which tend to lose electrons. Correct. So then if someone asks you what are non-metals, then the answer is very quick. Those elements which tend to gain electrons. Different types of elements. Prachi said the metals are in the, I don't know what you said, Prachi, but metals are in the S block. They are in the D block of the periodic table, whereas non-metals are in the P block of the periodic table. Okay. So what are the physical properties of metals? Some of the properties, some of you have already identified. They are hard, they are good conductor of electricity. Someone said they lose electrons, which is of chemical property. But now I request you, forcefully request you, urge you to read the section on page number 93 with the heading Physical Properties of Metals, and tell me what are the physical properties of metals. This is the content that we should have studied earlier and we did study in previous classes. So read these two small paragraphs and tell me what are the physical properties. Just to summarize what we read from the textbook, these are the physical properties of metals. Most are solid, None of them are gases. 2 of them are liquid at room temperature. They are lustrous. They are shiny. They are ductile. That means they can be drawn into wires. They are malleable. That means they can be beaten into sheets. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. Most of them are hard. Some of them are soft, like the alkali metals. Most of them have high melting and boiling points. Some of them don't, like the alkali metals. And most are sonorous. That means when they are struck, they produce a sound. These are physical properties of metals. Examples: aluminium, iron, copper, one kind of metals which are, we know of these things. Then sodium, magnesium, lithium, they are also potassium, calcium, they are also metals. Hydrogen is not a metal, although it is kept in the first group of the periodic table, which is the group of alkali metals, but hydrogen is not a metal, it is a non-metal. Just like what we did for physical properties of metals, read what is given in the textbook for physical properties of non-metals on the same page, page number 93, and tell me what are they. Also tell me, what do you observe? How do you, if you compare and contrast the physical properties of metals and non-metals, what will you say? Just to summarize what we have studied just now in the paragraph on page number 93, bottom of the page, is the properties of non-metals are, the physical properties of non-metals seem to be opposite to that of the physical properties of metals. So here, some are solid, most are gases. They are not lustrous, but the exception can be iodine, which is shiny. They are not hard, but the exception is diamond, which is an allotrope of carbon. They have low melting point and boiling point. They are bad conductors of heat and electricity, but again, there is an exception, which is graphite, which is a good conductor, at least of electricity. So metals and non-metals, as far as the physical properties are concerned, they seem to have opposite properties, different properties. And this chapter is mainly about metallurgy. How do we get the metals? All these metals that we are aware of, they are not available in nature in their pure form. If we try go find iron in nature, we will not get it. If we try go get aluminium in nature, we will not get it. Because as Khadija told us, these metals have a tendency to lose electrons. Elements, they combine with other elements to form compounds. So metals lose electrons to combine with other metals and non-metals to produce compounds. So in nature, these metals do not exist or may not exist as in pure form. They exist in the form of minerals. Minerals are those compounds from which we can get metals, which are present in nature. Minerals are naturally occurring compounds of metals from which we can try extract the metal. But we are saying that metallurgy is extraction and purification of metals from their ores. So what is this ore? Ore is a subset of minerals. It is easy, economical to extract metals from some minerals. It is not easy, it is not economical to extract metals from other minerals. So the minerals from which it is easy and economical to extract the metal, they are called ores. Okay? We will study them in detail later in the chapter. There is a very brief section about ionic compounds on page number 98. Have a look at page number 98 on the section ionic compounds and quickly tell me what are ionic compounds. We have studied this also last year and this year. Remember, chemical bonds are formed when electrons are by losing electrons, gaining electrons, or sharing electrons. When the chemical bonds are formed by gaining or losing electrons, those bonds are called ionic compounds, ionic bonds. And when an electron is lost or an electron is gained, what we have is no longer an atom but an ion. A type of ion is formed when electrons are lost. A type of ion is formed when an electron is gained. The names are cations and anions. Next time you should know the charge, the nature of charge on cation and anion. You should be able to tell me next time, cations are positive or negative, anions are positive or negative. And once the ions of opposite charges are available, because they have opposite charges, they are attracted to each other and they are bonded together. They are joined together using an ionic bond, forming an ionic compound. And the most common example that we studied many times is common salt. Thank you, Anushka. Chemical formula is NaCl. Usually, they are formed with a combination of metals and non-metals. Okay. This also we are going to study. We will stop here for today. For now, for homework, you will read pages from textbook. So pages 93, which we have already studied. So it will be easy for you. 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, and 98 till ionic compounds, so that we can continue tomorrow morning at 7:30 with metallurgy. That is it for